And we are live.
Good morning, everyone. It's the one, the only Supreme Ape Lord himself and the master of the flux capacitor. And we're coming to you live this morning on Labor Day. While everybody's off, waking up, wiping the coals out their eyes, V and CJ are live. And we're bringing you the news, the views, and all the information important to you. So strap on in, get ready, buckle up. Check us out, roguemoney.net, and follow us on Twitter at the Rogue Money, Rogue Money Fakebook, Rogue Money on Steemit, Rogue Money on DTube, Rogue Money on every podcasting app you can find us on. And again, guys, let the decentralization begin as we look for newer and create newer platforms. With that being said, check out our sponsors, myfreedomnow.us, myfreedomnow.us. Learn how to get out of debt. Improve your credit score. Or if you got no debt or credit score problems, you need money to get some cryptos, you need money to start a business, you need money to pay off your house, whatever the heck it is, myfreedomnow.us can get you up to count them, $600,000. $600,000 unsecured from a network of 335 lenders. And also check out mygoldusb.com. mygoldusb.com. We have the infamous Mr. X, the privacy extraordinaire, on mygoldusb.com. Go there, check it out. Learn how you can surf the internet. Secure your Bitcoin wallet with 1024-bit elliptical encryption. I don't even know what the heck that even means, but it sounds impenetrable to me. mygoldusb.com. Complete anonymity. Escape the deep state. And the only way the NSA is going to find out what the heck you're doing is if they actually sat next to you and watched your screen. With that out of the way, CJ, what's going on?
Hey, happy Labor Day, V. Hope you're having a great weekend. Extended weekend, as a matter of fact.
Yes, my friend. I'm going to relax, and I'm going to be throwing some plantains on the grill and having some banana daiquiris and eating some barbecue. I don't know. I might do that or go for a swim in the pool.
There you go. Sounds like a plan.
Or, because it is Labor Day, and many communists around the world are celebrating this day as well, I might do what I've been planning to do, CJ. You know what that is?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, this weekend I came up with a wonderful idea that I'm going to infiltrate Antifa. But I've found out through further research, and everybody thought I was joking when I say that the Antifa are really called Pantifa, that the men in Antifa actually wear lace. They're actually fans of Fredericks of Hollywood and Victoria's Secret. So I am right now rummaging through my wife's collection of exotic materials to figure out what I'm going to be wearing as I infiltrate them, so they will know that I am an initiate, that I'm an insider, that I'm one with them, united in their cause, so that I may study them and find out what they're all about. Perhaps maybe I could track down some George Soros money. The only issue is that I'm a very large man and my missus is quite small. So there's going to be some problems finding the right type of thong to wear, CJ.
With that V, and in order to fit into those skinny jeans, your thighs need to be smaller than your calves. So
and I have
good luck with that.
Calves, so I don't know what to do. My calves are pretty big, so I might just put on the thong and the skinny jeans, walk out, and the lack of blood flow, I might just pass out. The lack of blood flow to my upper extremities, I might just black out and pass out right on the driveway, CJ. I don't know if I can make it, but I'm gonna try, CJ. I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
Take one for the team, buddy. That's what I'm gonna do. Anyway, lots going on, man. Lots going on. I don't know where to begin. The biggest news is not North Korea. Who the hell cares? Who they set off a high. Here's the deal, guys. The news idiots, because again, they know the American public has no concept of numbers. So just like during the banking crisis of 2008, CJ, they throw out numbers like, 500 billion, 1 trillion, 3 trillion, billion, trillion, million. Nobody knows what the heck it means, right? No one really does. Until you tell people that, how much is a million seconds? Well, a million seconds is 12 days. How much is a billion seconds? And most people are like, well, a billion seconds is probably, I don't know, 2 months. And you tell them that's 32 years. And then you tell them how much is a trillion seconds. And then they start getting woozy. They're like, they're very, very cautious in their answer. And then you explain to them it's over 300 years. Then like, holy crap. Then they start understanding the difference between million, billion, and trillion. So yesterday it would seem, CJ, that the Kim Jong-un, also known as some dumb fool, also known as, whatever his other accolades that he goes by. Anyway, the short dictator with the funny hair, the fat, pudgy man from the North Korean kimchi-eating continent, a peninsula, let off a hydrogen bomb, and they are out there screaming. See, you know what they're saying? They're saying, oh my God, it was 50 kilotons. Right?
Right.
Like it's some huge thing. Like, oh my God, it was 10 kiloton, not 50. Oh my God, it was a 10 kiloton bomb. 10 kiloton bomb. This is the 6th nuclear test they've done. Oh my God. Folks, don't fall for the BS. Okay, 10 kilotons is nothing. It really is nothing. Okay, let me explain to you guys something. Russia's exploded bombs up to 150 megatons. The U.S. has exploded bombs up to 50 to 60 megatons. So you're talking about like 60 times the power of the little firecracker that North Korea set off. Okay? And see, here's another thing. Here's a little fact for food. Okay? A little banana for food. A little banana bread served by the gorilla himself with a little side of dark roast. This is North Korea's what? Their 6th nuclear test?
That sounds right. Yeah, 6.
The proverbial question is, how many nuclear tests did the United States do that have damaged the environment, that have created earthquakes, that have put the health of tens of thousands of people at risk? How many nuclear tests did we do, Siege?
No. Yeah. I don't know the exact number, V, but yeah, exactly your point. Well taken.
1,032 to be exact. 1,032. Look, all Kim Jong-un wants is some dim sum. He just wants some kimchi. He wants some bulgogi. He wants to eat some kalbi. These are all delicious Korean food items that I'm building on, folks. These are actual real Korean food items, and they're quite delicious. I love Korean food. I think I prefer Korean food over Japanese food. See, it's delicious.
Spicier, right?
Yeah, it's got that bite. Korean's got the flavor, brother. Give me some kalbi. That's that beef short ribs from Korea. You haven't had short ribs until you tried Korean short ribs and chicken wings, CJ. Where do I begin about Korean chicken wings? Oh my God. Oh my God. They're the most crispiest wings on the planet. But I digress, CJ. I digress. So he's doing this for aid. He's doing this for coercion, because typically what happens is that this guy sets off a couple of firecrackers. The world political body and the war hawks, they start circle jerking themselves into a tizzy. And then cooler heads prevail. The guy gets some aid money and he goes away. This time around, thanks to HR McNuggets, it seems like the situation in Korea seems to be intensifying. It also helps the fact that our economy is imploding and cratering. And we're on decline. So this serves as a perfect background, maybe even a useful distraction. And it serves as a useful distraction and possibly even an obstacle and a monkey wrench to be thrown at the Trump administration. It seems like he's falling for a hook, line, and sinker. All these things are going on, Siege. These are things we can get later into in the broadcast, and since London Paul's not coming up, I guess we could run this thing for an hour. Who knows? We can go as long as we want.
Yeah.
So, what's your take on the North Korean situation?
Well, obviously, the history of it in regards to the South and their communication, bilateral things that they were wanting to achieve, with North Korea and the U.S., fears that whole Korean peninsula joining with the One Belt, One Road project. So obviously, the disruption had to occur, that the United States had to get involved. So yeah, completely. This distraction that's occurring right now with North Korea, and it completely, it was amazing. I watched a little bit of the news cycle today, and you had all the neocons, right? All the neocons come marching out, And I don't know why this guy still continues to give commentary. Is John Bolton? Do you remember John Bolton, the
The,
former?
the evil mustache. That's what I like to call him.
Yes.
The
So
evil
he's out there.
mustache.
So he's out there on the stump, V, and they're all aligned around this thought that, okay, it's the end of negotiation. They don't understand. North Korea doesn't understand diplomacy. Doesn't understand. It's time for a first strike scenario to occur. And it's just amazing that they have no understandings of the implications that could as a result of this. And then more importantly, not to understand, V, that again, the entire distraction that's occurring, if you take a look at the news in regards to China, it's not even covered anywhere. It's
No,
it's not even being discussed anywhere,
no,
V.
no.
And it's probably the most important story,
News of
perhaps.
our lifetime,
Exactly.
which we'll get into. It's the most important news of our lifetime. And when I've heard about it, when they made it official, I tweeted it out. Again, follow us on Twitter at the Rogue Money for the latest and greatest. But I tweeted it out, and I let everybody know what the hell's going on. So we're going to get into that. But there's so many things that are, not covered. They're not in the headlines because of Korea. The race war that these idiots were planning for us, that seems like that's fizzled out a bit, CJ. It seems like, huh?
Yeah, it's fizzled out. You're watching now the Democratic Party completely separate themselves, from Antifa. You had the hurricane that you witnessed, people coming together to help each other. Blacks helping whites helping blacks, Hispanic comes in and helping, and this narrative is just completely being destroyed. And now we have another distraction that's coming online. Now they're pushing the whole narrative that Trump is going to get rid of the dreamers. Is it DACA? Not DACA. Gosh, what?
Yeah.
DACA. And so why is this happening now? It's because they want to keep a complete distraction from the true world events that are happening, and people buy into this. So now you're going to have people getting upset at each other once again. The left and the right battles. How it's going to become involved in terms of the wall, the complete narrative, V, that they continue to push to use these as controlled distractions from the real events that matter here, in the United States.
Right. And because of the North Korean situation, man, let's look at Trump's ill-advised moves here, and this is stupid. I don't know who's giving him this type of information, telling him this is a great idea. But go ahead, Siege, break this down, man.
Yeah, so basically from the events that occurred, V, with North Korea and this they tested this hydrogen bomb and it set off the earthquake and all this stuff going on. So now Trump is coming out and basically kind of threatening anyone who does trade, with North Korea, going on to state that if there's anyone that's doing trade with them, we may consider doing sanctions, against you too. So taking this, and it looks like the little child that is having a tantrum, that's very upset about something, and now just coming out, and the irresponsibility, V, of taking a look at these actions. V, you're talking about the massive trade that occurs globally, and you take a look at the countries that do trade: China, Russia, India, Pakistan, Singapore, Germany. I mean, what do you want to do? Just isolate the United States? Is that what you want to do? Knowing, in fact, that the U.S. economy, is so dependent upon foreign goods coming in, that our economy would not be able to stomach any of this, V.
Not at all. I mean, unless these guys have a grandiose plan of backing our currency with the trash, recyclables, and pornography that we propagate throughout the entire planet, unless they plan on doing that, no, this is not good for our economy whatsoever. Number one. Number two, no debtor nation. Okay, any debtor nation historically that tries to go up against its creditor nation doesn't work out well. And in the list, CJ, you go through that list again: China, Russia, India, Pakistan, Singapore, Germany. There are 4 countries to me that stands out the most. Okay, China, Russia, India, Germany. Okay, that's key. Okay, out of those 4, there's 3 that stands out incredibly bright, and that's China, Russia, and Germany. And once again, I think an action like this, again, Germany's already fighting the U.S. when it comes to, hey, knock it off with the sanctions on Russia. And now Germany's like, wait a minute, you want us to be sanctioned for this? Wait, what? Our economy and our industry is hurting because of the stupid Russian sanctions based upon pretext. The entire world knows it's fabricated pretext. Okay, this whole Russia thing, it's fake. Okay, the Ukrainian situation is fake. The Russia meddling in the U.S. elections is fake. The whole world knows it. The Germans know this, and the Germans already PO'd about this. So now again, we are hastening the speed of Germany going to Russia. The fact that these idiots in D.C. think, hey, you don't need to buy Russian natural gas. You can buy natural gas from us. We got great LNG. And what is our LNG, CJ? It's 50% more expensive than what the Russians are giving them, number one. And number two, it's about 40% more unreliable. Well, that's great. That's wonderful. So let's just cut our nose to spite our face. Let's just cut off reliable, clean, cheap Russian energy, and let's get expensive, okay, unreliable, crappy American gas. Okay, let's do that. American natural gas. Let's get that. Okay, and because we're pals, I'm gonna cut you in on a good deal. I'm gonna charge you 50% more than what you were originally paying because we're such good. That's what these morons and the Europeans are like. You guys are crazy. You guys are smoking crack, and the drunk idiots that are in D.C. who sit there and just like, I don't know what they do in Congress. I don't know if they just sit around all day. They have bottles of Vaseline intensive skincare lotion, and they're sitting around circle jerking each other the entire 100 days that they're actually working. The rest of the days they're taking time off to go fundraise. These a-holes, they should all be fired if you ask me. And all we're doing is hastening Germany to cooperate further with Russia and China. And then on that list also, CJ, is France. Okay, France wants in on the pie. France sees Macron. Okay, the maricon Macron sees the handwriting on the wall, and he's going to want to be integrated with the entire New Silk Road, the Eurasian Economic Union. He wants to connect with that. That's where the money is. You got India, which has always been a wild card, right? India's going to probably go along. They're not going to listen to the U.S. They're going to do what's benefit for them.
Eventually, yep.
Yeah, they always do what's benefit for them. They're always the odd one out. They're going to pay a neutral position, and then they're going to sign on. Then they're not going to break ties with Russia and China. It's just not going to happen. Okay? So again, we are hastening our isolation. All right? People, this is the funniest thing. This is a tweet by Donald, okay? By the president. The United States is considering, in addition to other options, stopping all trade with any country doing business with North Korea. China's our largest trading partner. You want to go stop trade with them?
Good luck with that.
And what are you going to do? You're going to sanction? We're going to sanction these countries. You can't sanction anybody. Because every single one of these countries are settling and trading with Pyongyang using China's interpayment systems, SIPs, which is the SWIFT alternative. It doesn't even go through the Fedwire. It's done. It's game over. Do you see what I'm saying? All we are is just a bunch of bratty freaking kids kicking sand kicking around dirt in the sandbox. Whining and bitching that nobody's playing with him. That's all we are. That's all we are on the world stage. Nothing more, nothing less, CJ.
Yeah, well said. I mean, if you look at China alone, it's estimated that the U.S. bought more than $450 billion worth of goods from China. The U.S. exported about $115 billion. And alone, cutting off any type of trade would cost the U.S. an estimated million American jobs. Okay, and that's not even to mention the amount of inflation that U.S. consumers would see with any type of these sanctions or tariffs passed. I mean, it's the last thing that our economy needs.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you wholeheartedly, man. I agree with you wholeheartedly. It's the most ridiculous thing. Switching gears before we get back on the international kick, because that's what we do so well. The Obama era Dreamers program. See, let's talk about the Dreamers, the Deferred Action for childhood arrivals, because after all, it's like 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds that are crossing the border. So let's talk about these dreamers, CJ.
Yeah, so DACA was an executive order, fairly certain by Obama. It was, on many parts, it was deemed illegal that he had the right to do that. So now they have to take a look at this, the 2012 act that was passed. So U.S. children's without a legal status, that they were going to give the rights to become citizen just because of the fact that they're here. There's an estimated about 800,000 people that have signed up for this program. And so now it's coming out in the news that in fact that Trump is going to, maybe possibly even tomorrow, taking a look at DACA and reversing this particular executive order. Now, the timing on this again is in part exactly as you stated earlier, the fact that the whole new American Civil War is falling apart. The
Exactly.
fact that all this stuff is falling apart. This is, listen, okay, our legislatures have a lot more important things on their. What happened to tax reform?
Yeah,
What
whatever
happened to that
happened to
bill?
that?
They don't have a whole lot of legislation days left for this year to accomplish anything. So,
Right.
and then you have the fact that you have a complete divide on this topic with Paul Ryan, Marco Rubio, and obviously the Democratic Party in regards to this. So why now? It makes absolutely no sense why they're starting to face this and have these discussions. And it's meant for one purpose, V. It is a complete distraction from the events that are happening in our world, keeping us from paying attention to the world that's changing without the United States.
Absolutely correct, my man. Absolutely correct. The world is changing, without the United States, and you know what? It's when you get out of this country, when you get out of the insular, myopic viewpoint of many of our fellow Americans who just don't get it, who haven't woken up to the reality of this. I can walk down right now in the streets in New York and just ask them, "Hey, who's the largest economy in the world?" And they'll say, "We are." And these are the same people who believe that our unemployment rate is 4% when it's really still north of 30. Okay, um, these are the same people who think that everything's hunky dory. Then you ask them, well, what about China? What about their? Oh, their economy. They just make cheap stuff. They're just like they make sneakers. They make like Air Jordans. That's China's manufacturing. China exists, CJ, to make Nike shoes. That's what they think. China's sole purpose is to be a factory for Nike. That's it, and Adidas and Reebok. That's what they do. They don't realize that the biggest sector in the Chinese economy is not manufacturing; it's banking. They don't realize that 3 out of the 4 largest banks in the world are Chinese. Okay, they don't realize that if you want to do anything in the bleeding edge of cutting edge science, you're gonna have to go take it to China. Again, I gave the example so many times of Shenzhen, where that's like their Silicon Valley. You and I, CJ, could develop a smartphone. We could have a mock-up model. Okay, we could send it out, and within 2 to 3 days, we'll have a final production product ready. All right, that is how streamlined and efficient the supply chain is in China. It is nobody. Do you understand? Like nobody in the world even comes close. Okay, if you and I were to do that here in the United States, number one, it'd be a lot more expensive. Number two, it would take forever and a day. We set up a mock-up maybe at the end of the month, a month and a half, maybe 2 months. We get a working model back. Okay, that's just the way things work. That's reality. That's reality. It's a different ballgame. And this reality, this economy, this country called China has been going around the world and economically entering into mutually beneficial trade with a multitude of other nations around the world. And they're doing a better job than us. What we do, we bomb people to oblivion. What China offers is actual, real trade. And so they're winning. They're winning with investments. They're winning with high-speed rail. They're winning with infrastructure all over. The Africans love them. The other Asian countries love them. The South Americans love them. Everybody loves them. Everybody hates our guts. Why? Because we're the brats. We're like the punk kid bully that everybody's sick of. And it's like everybody's outgrew the bully, They've gotten stronger than the bully. They've gotten smarter than the bully. They all know they could just beat the bully's ass, but then the bully's just still this 4'11" midget. He's just still this angry little kid just walking around, and just nobody pays any attention to him. That's how we are, man. It's like nobody even pays attention to us anymore. It's a joke, bro. It's a real bad joke.
Yeah, it's just the divide and conquer mentality to try to avoid the facts of what is occurring. V, and we've talked about it for several years. It's one of the reasons I started listening to you, V, was talking about these world events that are changing, that no one else was talking about. And when you look at the bigger picture outside of the fear mongering, I mean, how many years have we dealt with the fear mongering here between the weapons of mass destruction to Al Qaeda, to ISIS, to ISIL, to USIS? That they have built a perpetual state of fear and divide and conquer here in the United States. That's what we've lived by the past 16 years.
Yeah, absolutely correct, man. We have nothing to offer the world except paranoia and BS. We have nothing to offer anybody except the fact that you know what it's just constant perpetual fear, perpetual debt. Our economy is fraud. Our military is, honestly speaking, I feel sorry for our men and women. Okay, they're stretched thin and they can barely fight to hold a country. They can advance on a country, especially like a third world country. Afghanistan is not even third world; it's like Stone Age. So they can advance on a Stone Age nation like Afghanistan, but they can't even hold. They can't even hold it. And you got idiots like Paul Ryan saying, "Well, we're just gonna outweight them." I'm like, you freaking moron! They freaking live there. How are you gonna outweight anybody? I mean, this is the type of humor. These people are mentally insane. But let's not forget, CJ, back to this whole North Korea thing. We're talking about a country that has probably anywhere between 6 to 7 trillion dollars. Okay, $6 to $7 trillion worth of strategic and rare earth minerals, man. Okay, 6 to $7 trillion in North Korea. Okay, so taking over North Korea is another. You see some salivating there as well, man.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
Unreal.
Yep.
Siege, what else is on the radar? I think you just texted me something.
Yeah. Just real quick. Talk about this legislation that China is go ahead and declaring ICOs, illegal, and demanding that all these token coin offerings, they return the funds back to them. Something like this, and again, just the legislation that we've talked about as far as the ICOs, the initial coin offerings, being potentially, a caution, a flag there to monitor. However, in terms of the cryptos themselves, remember that the tokens and the cryptos are different. The Bitcoin, the Litecoin, the Bitcoin Cash. So in terms of those ICOs, yeah, we probably will see something here domestically.
It's already in the making. It's already the SEC is moving full force. It's already in the making. Trust me. Go ahead, Siege.
I was just going to say there is a little bit of caution. I mean, if I was an investor, and I was finding out that, hey, somebody's raising, $500 million for this thought that they woke up with in the morning, and there's no white paper, and again, I'm more of a traditionalist, so that's just how I approach things. That if there's not a business plan, if there's not already some working capital involved, do I really want to go throwing my money at it? So what's to protect or to keep people from just throwing money at those, but it doesn't change anything in regards to the cryptos themselves, Bitcoin, Litecoin, and the fact that they can be utilized for an exchange, but the ICOs are different. V.
Yeah, ICOs are completely different. Let me just clarify this real quick for everybody that's listening before that. I told you about those cryptocurrencies. Well, hold on, guys. Hold on. Let's put this in proper perspective. China is not banning cryptocurrencies. they're banning what's recently been occurring with ICOs. I mean, let's be honest here. There's some stupid coins out there. Useless coins that are used by nothing and for nothing. Coins like the FUCK coin, okay, where you can give FUCKs to people. What does it do? What purpose does it serve except to as a joke? But yet that coin, because of its ICO, people thought it was cute. I think it raised like 5 to 10 million or something like that. Okay, so
Yeah.
you have a lot of stupid coins. I'd say 90 some odd percent of these ICOs that are happening, they're bullshit. It's bullshit. There's bullshit coins that mean nothing. See, some idiot turd wakes up in his mommy's basement, scratching his he's just sitting there just like, scratching his ass. And he's, I got a brilliant idea because I'm going to have an ICO for TY to trade TY Beanie Babies. And they created, you got people that invest in this kind of stuff. And what China's doing, what are they doing? They're taking the recent SEC steps. Okay, they're following the SEC because the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, they're having a crackdown on initial coin offerings. Okay, and they're trying to take it one step further. Now, the People's Bank of China, the PBOC, also said digital token financing and trading platforms are prohibited from doing conversions of coins with fiat currency. Because what's happening in China is this: there's such a digital currency craze there, 10 times more than here in the United States. So people and investors are throwing tens of thousands of dollars into these ICOs, into these exchanges, and there's really no tokens that are backing up any of it. And what's happening is that the con men are profiteering from these types of scams. And they are scams. Okay? If somebody has an ICO, they don't have a well-published white paper. Dude, you know how many white papers I've read where, the first 10 pages are talking about crap we already know, like, the banking system is corrupt and fiat currency and blah, 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 blah. And they're building up this whole same stupid story. But then I'm like, okay, jackass, we know this. Then we get to the last 3 pages of what their token is, how it's going to be utilized, and how it works, and it just falls flat. I'm like, this is stupid. And like 7 out of 10 times, 8 out of 10 times, that's what you see. Okay, so unless it's got real use, like Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, okay, Ripple, Salt, Populous, these are just some of the coins off the top of my head that I know that have real use and people actually utilize them. Monero, okay, really utilize them. That's a joke, man. Okay, digital tokens can't be used as currencies on the market and cannot be converted to fiat currencies because that's what's happening. They're taking these digital tokens, converting it to fiat, and they're out. Okay, they're out. They're out of the system. Most importantly, the PBOC's determination that digital tokens can't be used as currency on the market, and it's a warning. China will strictly punish over-sustained offerings and law violations and completed ones. Central Bank's Monday directive made no mention of cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, but Bitcoin tumbled 8%, the most since the July on closing out on $4,400. Ethereum was down more than 11%, just above 310, after trading nearly 400 last week. There is somewhat in step, maybe not to the same extent, that we're starting to see in other jurisdictions. This is the evolution, folks, of the cryptocurrency market. You're going to have the established, regulated to some degree, ICOs and exchanges. Okay? You're going to have it. You just, if you want any sort of formal ICOs with real venture capitalists and you actually want to develop a platform that's really going to do something, you're going to have to, pay the piper. You're going to have to somehow deal with the devil in some regards, and you're going to have to accept some sort of regulation. It's just going to happen. And the regulations they're putting upon is really consumer protection regulations to protect investors. I get it. The regulations that I'm wary of is regulations that kill competition, that kill innovation, that kills the development of this, because eventually that's what they want to do. I know that very well. They start off with these little regulations and they want to make it impossible for you to do business. So I see the crypto markets diverging in that stream, the formal sense. And then the crypto markets are going to continue to develop in the informal sense. They're going to be ICOs that are going to occur, and they're going to occur that will not be a part of this. They will be on the dark web. They will be on alternative platforms. There's still going to be development of new cryptocurrencies. There's still going to be the furtherance of development of various crypto platforms that are going to be on Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, these different types of blockchains, Monero, whatnot. And that's the way I see it, CZ. I think this is the convergence point where we're going to see it split formally and informally. I think that's what's going to happen, bro.
Yeah, great points. And then also, if you take a look at China specifically in regards to their capital controls, their outflows
Yes.
control, the last thing that they want is massive outflows of their currency. So they're putting those controls in place. And here in the U.S., they'll do it because they don't want people to be pulling the millions of dollars they are from the stock market and placing it somewhere else. So all these things are. Do I agree with it? No, but at the same time, exactly what you said, there'll be other disruptive things that will be in place for those. But yeah, so Bitcoin, Litecoin, yeah, they're going to be a downturn, but it's going to recover.
Yes.
It's still well above any low that it's achieved. It's probably still one of the best performing currencies this year. So it'll continue. It'll bounce back from this.
Yep. Yeah, the whole thing is this, man. Also, look, there are 43 ICO platforms in China. And China is not stopping ICOs. Okay? They're really not. What they want to do is this. Okay? They want ICOs, and this is also confirmed by Chu of Kinetic Capital. Okay? They want ICOs to continue to happen, but they want it on approved platforms. They might even vet the projects, they will allow those sales of tokens in a format that they seem is more safe and more measured for the investor. That's it. None of this stops. It's going to be some. You're eventually going to get so big, the regulator is going to come and crack down on you. That's fine. There's going to be those within our cryptocurrency world that are going to play with the regulators. Okay, and then there are those in the cryptocurrency world that we're going to keep continuing what we're doing. See, it's like what we said, man. It's the continued innovations, continued new platform development. You can't. The genie's out of the bottle. The genie's out of the bottle.
Right. Absolutely.
Anyway, I guess what's next, brother?
Well, I think you're ready to break it down, V. I think we need to talk about the big event, the big shift that was announced this weekend.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. I've been talking about this since the moment I came out from the jungles of Uganda, the hot steamy jungles when I came off the mountain, and all I had in my hand was just a banana and a dream. And I've been the voice screaming in the jungle about this. And there are other guys that have been doing it longer than I have. Guys like Jim Willie, who's been screaming about this for the longest time. And it's finally here. London Paul's been talking about it also for quite many years. And it's finally here. It's finally here. China sees New World Order with oil benchmark backed by gold. That right there, what you heard, is the kill shot. Goodbye, petrodollar. I was going to go into this funny montage song, but I will cease and save you all from that type of experience. Anyway, China is expected to shortly to launch a crude oil futures contract priced in yuan and convertible into gold. And what analysts say could be a game changer for the industry. No, analysts, it's not a could be, it is a game changer. The contract could become the most important Asia-based crude oil benchmark, given that China is the world's biggest oil importer. They're also the biggest importer of gold, the biggest producer of gold, and the biggest consumer of gold in the entire planet. Crude oil is usually priced in relation to Brent or West Texas or the WTI, the West Texas Intermediary. Both dominated in U.S. dollars. China's move will allow exporters such as Russia and Iran to circumvent U.S. sanctions by trading in yuan. To further entice China trade, China says the yuan will be fully convertible into gold on exchanges in Shanghai and Hong Kong. The rules of the global oil game may begin to change enormously. Okay, the Shanghai International Energy Exchange has started to train potential users and is carrying out systems tests following substantial preparations in June and July. This will be China's first commodities futures contract open to foreign companies such as investment funds, trading houses, and petroleum companies. Most of China's crude imports, which average about 7.6 million barrels a day in 2016, are brought on long-term contracts between China's major oil companies and foreign national oil companies. Deals also taking place between Chinese majors and independent Chinese refiners and between foreign oil majors and global trading companies. Yuan-dominated gold contracts were also launched in Hong Kong in July after two unsuccessful attempts earlier. As China seeks to internationalize its currency, the contracts have been moderately successful. The existence of yuan-backed oil and gold futures means that users will have the option of being paid in physical gold. That is huge. It is a mechanism which will likely appeal to oil producers that prefer to avoid using dollars and are not ready to accept that being paid in yuan for oil sales to China is as good idea either. So think about this, man. Huge. For many years, China has been developing the Shanghai Gold Exchange. They launched the price fix sometime late last year, 2016, or sometimes late. I'm sorry, 2015. They launched it late 2015, and the price went live. And they've been building up this as long as possible. They've benefited. Now, a lot of us in the precious metals industry, we've been bemoaning and we've been crying about, oh my God, why is the price of gold being manipulated? What are we going to do? But we all knew in the back of our heads the day of reckoning is coming. And that day of reckoning, folks, is upon us. China's benefited greatly from artificially low gold and silver prices. They've benefited greatly from artificially low commodities prices. They've benefited greatly from the dearth that was in the commodities market because all the action was in equities. They've benefited greatly because what they've been doing, the meantime, while we were enjoying the go-go 90s Redux 2.0 right here in the Dow Jones, on the New York Stock Exchange, China's been buying up commodities, specifically gold, on a rapid clip. They've been amassing it. At the prices that we've been seeing the last few years, folks. Gold has been practically been gifted to China. Okay, so they've enjoyed it a great deal. Now they have it all built up, and they knew that the future of the world economy, the future of the world peace, the future of world anything, hinges on the fact that you cannot have the U.S. still calling the shots. You cannot allow a maniacal cadre of malfeasant maniacs running and calling the shots. Men who have no concept of anything, who think on very short-term basis. So for China to do this, it's a huge thing. It is completely... You want to talk about the fat lady singing, guys? This is the fat lady clearing her throat. When this gets implemented, it is on. I don't know. Look, when this goes live, okay, which will go live sometime before the year is out, sometime this fall, possibly in the winter, this thing will be active. When this goes out, you can expect a few things. Do not expect the overnight rise of the price of gold. It's going to take a few months. Do expect that a massive kill shot would happen. Do expect immediate integration of Russia, Iran, India, and Turkey to this exchange. Immediately expect Germany and Norway to come on board. Immediately expect France to tag along behind, and perhaps even the UK. Okay, Australia will be on board with this as well as New Zealand. Expect Singapore to start helping to underwrite some of the contracts and the deals on this exchange as well, with some of this gold trade that is occurring. Okay, so this entire landscape called the geostrategic world is about to be turned on its head. Expect a few months from there, at some point. Okay, there's already, London Paul's talked about it, Jim Willie's talked about it, I've mentioned it. There's already been murmurings of a Sino-Saudi connection. Expect that Saudi Arabia will most likely, and OPEC nations will most likely swing in this direction. They will price their oil in the yuan denominated gold standard. Okay? The yuan denominated gold settlement. Do you realize how attractive it is? Okay? For those in the Middle East, those OPEC nation members, to know that they don't have to carry dollars, which religiously works better for them because they'd rather settle in gold. They don't believe in charging interest on things. Okay? Win for the entire world. It is a loss for the idiot US because we don't make crap. And this is what I'm saying. So when China backs its currency by gold, what are we going to back our currency with? Perhaps, again, CJ, like I mentioned earlier, is it going to be the trash, the recyclables, and the pornography? Will we back our dollar with that? Or maybe it's the deep storage gold that no one's seen or heard from. But it's somewhere there, CJ. It's deep storage. It's deep storage. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, complete game changer. And you factor in the fact that you have the Saudi IPO for Aramco, coming online, and
Yep.
potential deal for China to become involved with that to
Yep.
pretty much flip the entire petrodollar. If you don't understand the change that's occurring, and there's numerous examples that we can give. Another perfect example of this, V, is what happened in Venezuela with the recent news that, oh, the military may need to become involved. Marco Rubio, oh yeah, we need to do this, is because behind the scenes, Russia, China, they've been creating all these things, the United States, and now we have pretty literally no options left on the table. There's no more cards to be played here, folks.
No. No, there's no more cards to be played whatsoever. The game is over, man. The game's over. This is the inevitable. So all we can do is rattle our sabers. All we can do is circle jerk. Our politicians can circle jerk each other, and John McInsane can go out there and with his twisted face, with a tumor eating at his brain. Okay, and I think his brain's probably down to his just the reptilian cortex at this point. It's just his cerebellum's left. The disgusting idiot. Get up there and talk nonsense, and all the and HR McNuggets is gonna start, stroking his own ego, and and thinking how great of a general he is, and all this crap is happening over North Korea. The rest of the world would just snicker and just say, "We're done with you. We're walking away. We had enough. We've tried to work with you guys, but you are incapable of working. We've tried to be nice with you people, but you're incapable of niceties. We've tried to be rational, but you're incapable of any sort of rational thought. We've tried to be patient, but you have stretched our patience too thin. We are done, and we are walking away. And the rest of the world will just open the door and quietly leave us to the madness that we are." And CJ, that is the greatest fear. America being left alone to its own madness, its own craziness. That, CJ, is a thought that I shudder at.
Yep, absolutely.
With that being said, my man, I think we're at the end of the broadcast. Anything else you want to cover?
Just make sure to check out roguemoney.net. A couple articles went up this weekend. Go check those out. London Paul is going to be rescheduled to Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So he will be on this week, just not today.
That's it. And with that being said, folks, thank you all for listening in. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. Hit the notification bell so you're alerted when programs like this are out, where we make sense of the global world and put everything in perspective like nobody else can. Literally nobody else on YouTube even comes close, period. Except my man London Paul, because we're all on the same team. Aside from us, there's really nobody out there. With that being said, folks, we are all said and done. Check back with us tomorrow. And we are over and out. Take it away, CJ.